want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Feet in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. Thanks for their disease. Just like a weed.
Jesus, God in heaven, Mother Nature. You're humid, then you're cool, and then you're raining, and then you're sunny. Make up your fucking mind, you bitch. Oh, my Lord. Well, why isn't the fucking central air turned up? I gotta turn up the central air over here. Why did I not do this before I went live? Trying to get my fucking notes together. What do we got over here? We got Alex Mercado, we got the Final Horse, we got Sarah Hapka, we got Raphael, we got Mitch. I'd like to hope that a lot of people are going to appreciate what I'm going to do, because in case you're not aware, it's Saturday! You know what that means. We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you, especially you, Jalitza, to the greatest fucking show on earth, streaming live on 4 different platforms across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different accounts. We are rocking. We are rolling. We are getting ready to get down to the nitty and the gritty. Yes, of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known. Shit. Do you smell that? Do you know what that is? Do you? Because in case you are uneducated, that right there is the smell of pure fucking excellence. Wait for it. Wait for it. Two-man kind. And this is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, July 8th, 2023. Jalitza, you fucking love it. Do not try and deny it. Don't deny the greatness. Don't hate me because you ain't me. Just bask in my glory. We have a lot to get into today. A lot to get into. So apparently, we have some releases. There were some people that were not renewed by AEW. I got some breaking news on when the next Battle of the Belts is going to be. On top of that, some New Japan Pro Wrestling stars are working without contracts There was backstage trepidation on Roman Reigns taking the pinfall loss at Money in the Bank, and Ronda Rousey could be on her way out of WWE, and we can all collectively rejoice. We no longer have to deal with Ronda Rousey and her utter shit, the shitstorm that she brings to WWE television, an absolute non-factor, no value whatsoever Ronda Rousey possesses, absolutely zero. And now we can all relax and enjoy a WWE without Ronda Rousey, although I'm not sure how we can enjoy WWE when there is legitimately nothing going on WWE TV outside of the bloodline. But either way, we're going to have a very, very, very good show, like we usually do. Still a little hot, but it's nothing that we can't manage here. Just a little heads up here. I will not be talking about SmackDown. I will not be talking about SmackDown because I did not watch the show live. I did not watch Rampage 100 live, but I will be talking about that, and I do have a couple notes on that. Let me hang on this. There we go. That's a little bit better. I feel like the light was too much in my face. Now I think we're a little bit better here. I will be talking about Rampage 100. I did take notes on that, and I did rewatch the highlights from Rampage 100 this morning before the show. I did not watch Rampage or SmackDown live because I was actually in West Milford, New Jersey for ISPW Stars, Stripes, and Slams. That was last night from West Milford in St. Joseph Parish Church Hall, and I saw the crowning of a new ISPW World Heavyweight Champion. His name is Richard Holliday. You heard me correctly. His name is Richard Holliday. Richard Holliday, who was the former tag team partner of MJF back in MLW. He actually had a great story. He actually took a break from wrestling. He had to battle cancer. He actually beat cancer, started wrestling about 3 to 4 weeks ago, started up again, and now he is the new ISPW World Heavyweight Champion. I did not know anything about Richard Holliday, and Richard Holliday came in. He beat 3 former World Heavyweight Champions, that being Crowbar, Leo Sparrow, and Bull James, all in the same night. All in the same night. And we got a new world champion. A star was made. I am not easily impressed, but I will say this. Richard Holliday definitely impressed me. I will have the highlights from ISPW Stars, Stripes, and Slams up for you guys a little bit later next week. I have plenty of material that I need to get done this week, including organizing the upload of JV Thunder's newest drum cover. You heard me correctly. JV Thunder is back with another drum cover. We covered The Trooper by Iron Maiden. So if you are a classic rock and roll Iron Maiden fan, tomorrow's upload will be for you. That will go up at 2 p.m. And then on Tuesday, I will be uploading a poll to Twitter. So if you guys have Twitter, go and follow me on Twitter. And I will put the links to Twitter right over here, scrolling across the bottom right there. You will see it. My Twitter and Instagram at HistoryMakerDJS. But of course, the poll will be on Twitter. And the poll is going to be of 4 songs. 4 songs. 4 songs. And you guys, the fans, the posse, you guys are going to choose what song JV Thunder is going to cover next. So after The Trooper by Iron Maiden goes up tomorrow, you will have a choice between The Final Countdown by Europe, Carry On Wayward Son by Kansas, Come On Feel the Noise by Quiet Riot, or Cult of Personality by Living Color. Those will be the 4 choices. So if you have Twitter, go follow me on Twitter at HistoryMakerDJS. That poll will be up on Tuesday. I see Billy decided to stop by. Of course, she cannot get enough of DJ Storms. Everybody needs a little bit of DJ Storms in their life. Whenever she sees me, she has a funny feeling that exudes down her spine. Everyone does, because whenever you see DJ Storms, you're just filled with a little bit of energy. Anyway, Obviously, you already know the drill. Follow me on Twitter at HistoryMakerDJS. I will have that poll up on Tuesday. You can also follow me on Instagram, same at HistoryMakerDJS. Follow me on Facebook as well. For collaborations and business inquiries, please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page. And I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. That is, all of those links are in the description. So if you have not checked them all out, please go out of your way to check all of those out. On top of that, please go out of your way to support one of my friends, Brittany K. She is amazing. She is a very, very down-to-earth individual, a big supporter of the DJ Storms brand, big supporter of the channel. She does handcrafted designs on her iPad, designs and drawings of WWE superstars and celebrities and Twitter avies and Twitter banners. Plenty of good material to come from her. She has an insane amount of talent when it comes to graphic design. So if you guys are interested in a new Twitter avi or a new Twitter banner, or if you want some pictures and drawings of WWE and AEW superstars, please go out of your way to check her out. Her Twitter is at BrittanyK5150. Her Instagram is at BrittanyK Designs, and both of her links are in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, or if you're watching on Facebook, or if you're watching on my personal Facebook, which I do not have open right now, my personal Facebook, sometimes we stream on there for the rundown and the rewinds. My personal Facebook, the link for the rundown and the rewinds, you can go check those out on my personal Facebook, and you will see in the link in the description Brittany K's social media links. She's great. Go show her some love. Go show her some love. If you guys missed it, it's up on the channel right now. Go check out the rewind for WWE Money in the Bank 2023 with my man, Mac the Giants fan. Happy to have him back on the channel. Mac and I brilliantly dissected everything that went down at Money in the Bank. Good show. Would have been great if we would have gotten better matches with Riddle and Gunther and Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Those two matches did not deliver. Neither did Dominic Mysterio and Cody Rhodes. Those matches didn't deliver. And John Cena and Grayson Waller was virtually a waste of time. Grayson Waller and John Cena are not headed towards a match at SummerSlam. I don't know why. If anything, John Cena was sent out there just to get the crowd hyped up for WrestleMania in London. And the only reason why WrestleMania is coming to London is because Tony Khan is absolutely kicking ass in the ticket sales for AEW All In. And they will absolutely be peaking 70,000, 75,000. And they don't want to lose the United Kingdom to AEW. WWE does not want to lose the United Kingdom to AEW, and they feel threatened. But if anything, it shouldn't take AEW and All In order for WWE to bring WrestleMania to London. It shouldn't take them that. It really shouldn't. It's pathetic, if we're going to be quite honest. It really is. But either way, moving on from that, please make sure that you guys follow me on social media. Links all down below. And, of course, like the stream on all platforms, social media that we are streaming on, whether you're watching on my Twitter, the Hardcore Sports Twitter, the Hardcore Sports Twitch, my YouTube channel, Hardcore Sports YouTube channel, or the DJ Storms Posse Facebook group. Like the stream, share it out on all platforms, social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Tumblr, Snapchat, TikTok, anywhere that you have a social media, share it out. Get as many people in here as possible because we want to have a good time. You always going to have a good time with DJ Storms, rocking and rolling, getting down to the nitty and the gritty. DJ Storms is the reason that the world goes round, people. So, I mean, come on. If you guys want to support DJ Storms, like the stream and share it out on all platforms of social media. And, of course, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, whether it be on my channel or the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll help me. You'll help the Hardcore Sports brand. We are going to expand bigger than we've ever expanded. And crazy enough, next Sunday is my 6-year anniversary as DJ Storms. I'm thinking about doing something a little bit more toned down. Not really sure what I want to do, but I'm thinking about it. It's going to be a little bit mellow. It's going to be a little bit more low key. I did my big 5-year anniversary last year where I debuted for Hardcore Sports, and I can't even believe it's already been a year of me being on Hardcore Sports. Absolutely unbelievable. But please, make sure you hit the subscribe button, whether it be on my Twitter or the Hardcore Sports YouTube channel. And when you hit the subscribe button on my channel or the Hardcore Sports channel, you got to hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace, because that way you're going to know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, oh, baby, it is the absolute best time to be on YouTube. You know why? Because it's the only time that you can get to see this glorious, oh, so fucking glorious sideburn chin strap combo. Beautiful mustache right here. We're going to light it up right here. I'm not sure where Earl Cole is, but we're going to light it up right here on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook. And now everyone's going to feel that energy, feel that scintillation pumping through their veins with a little and a dash of and a whole lot of because like hot, fresh pierogies right off the pan, sprinkle of a little garlic salt, I am just so good. You already know. And yes, I believe Earl Cole is on vacation. Thank you very much for that reminder, Miss Sarah Habka. Earl Cole is on vacation, but even so, he is with us in spirit, and he is feeling that No. I've never been more sane than I've been right now. This right here is the most sane that I've ever been. And you know why? Because I know that everybody wants a piece of the Storm's Meister. Everyone. Even you. Don't lie. I know you do. Anyway. Enough of the self-brand promotion, the advertisements, enough of the chit-chat. Let's get right into the news, rumors, and reports. I got an update on Jade Cargill. A fan recently took to Twitter and asked Jade Cargill about her return to AEW. The fan asked if we could see Jade Cargill back on television anytime soon, and Cargill responded, no. And I don't have an issue with that. I'm not sure anyone really has an issue with that, because at the end of the day, after the run that Jade Cargill has been on, and the fact that she has been so prominent on AEW television, her taking a little bit of a hiatus after that egregiously long TBS championship title reign, it's fair to say that Jade Cargill needs an absence, because an absence certainly makes the heart grow fonder. And if anything, Jade Cargill has been pushed to a point on television to which some superstars in AEW, some wrestlers in AEW have not gotten the proper recognition that they deserve. Now you got Chris Statlander breaking out. Now you got Sky Blue breaking out. You got Willow Nightingale breaking out a bit more. And we're going to see some new stars in the women's division in AEW. Jade Cargill taking that break, that is going to help her in the long run. And that is going to ultimately have her come back with an even bigger impact, rather than her sticking around after she lost. Her not appearing on AEW television for an extended period of time is going to make her miss a little bit more. And when she comes back, it's going to have a nice, solid impact. Now, all we need is a reason for her to come back and who she's going to feud with next. But after her title reign, I think it's safe to say that a hiatus is best for Jade Cargill. Sticking with AEW right here, according to PW Insider, Trench, if you guys remember Trench, he was the guy with the tattoos on his face who was partnered up with Parker Boudreaux and Swerve Strickland. Trench of the Mogul Affiliates is no longer with AEW as his contract expired, and he was removed from the roster page a couple of days ago as of Monday. Trench didn't really do anything, and matter of fact, the Mogul Affiliates, they had potential, but ultimately, no one really cared for him. And Parker Boudreaux is not horrible, but he's got a long, long way to go. He has a timing issue. I'm not sure what it was with Parker Boudreaux, but he clearly has a timing issue. You can call him Mini Lesnar all you want, but when it comes to his in-ring skill, he's fine, but there's been plenty of occasions where he has mistimed a lot of moves. He could be a little sloppy. And Trench, he's not even a pro wrestler, not to my knowledge. So if anything, the Mogul affiliates, it was kind of doomed from the jump. They were nothing more than Swerve Strickland's henchmen. Now that Swerve Strickland has upgraded to the Mogul Embassy, that's actually a lot better because the Embassy is fucking great. Brian Cage, Toa Leona, and Bishop Khan, they are all fantastic. They're fantastic wrestlers. They are dominant Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Champions. So in the end, the upgrade to the Embassy over the Mogul affiliates, that was probably one of the best moves that they could have made for Swerve Strickland. And they're a very nice faction. I really like the makeup of that faction. And Swerve Strickland, if anything, if that is going to get him more television time, that's going to get the Embassy more television time, especially considering that they're Ring of Honor guys. Now that they're going to migrate over to AEW television, they're going to have something to do after they officially lose the Ring of Honor World Six-Man Tag Team Championships to whoever. I'm not sure who's going to do it, but whoever it may be, in the end, they're going to have a nice shoe-in spot. A nice shoe-in spot on AEW television when they're done with Ring of Honor. And can you imagine the Embassy and Swerve Strickland when they really get the ball rolling and they really want to invest in them? Think about the Embassy versus the Elite and the Embassy versus Best Friends in Orange Cassidy and the Embassy versus the House of Black and the Embassy versus United Empire. The possibilities are endless. So Trench is gone from AEW. Sticking with AEW, I got a report from PW Insider again stating that Battle of the Belts number 7 is scheduled for Saturday, July 15th, which would be next Saturday. Next Saturday, July 15th, 10 p.m. on TNT, and it will immediately follow Collision. So this will be the first time that we see 3 live hours of AEW television consistently, one after the other. So between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. on Saturday, July 15th, we're going to see Collision and then Battle of the Belts number 7. And I'm glad that it's going to be live. I'm very happy that it's going to be live. However, even though this is a lot better than what we were getting with Battle of the Belts on Rampage, live right after Rampage, even though this is better than that, in the end, this is still not the correct way to go when it comes to Battle of the Belts. I think it's going to be a very solid show, and I think that Battle of the Belts is going to complement Collision very well next Saturday. However, I've been saying this since the beginning of Battle of the Belts that we should see Battle of the Belts become the true in-between shows when it comes to these major pay-per-views. We got Revolution, we got Double or Nothing, we got All Out, and we got Full Gear. Then you got Battle of the Belts in between each of these big 4 pay-per-views. So if anything, in the end of all of this, what I would do is I would make Battle of the Belts their true mini pay-per-views. Battle of the Belts should not be 1 hour. Battle of the Belts should be 2 hours. Battle of the Belts should be 2 hours on TNT every single Sunday. The Sunday that is right in the middle. The right in the middle Sunday between these big 4 pay-per-views. So if Revolution and Double or Nothing, then it should be on a Sunday right in the middle of April. Between Double or Nothing and All Out, it should be on a Sunday right in the middle of July. Between All Out and Full Gear, it should be on a Sunday right in the middle of October. And then Full Gear and Revolution, it should be on a Sunday right in the middle of January. That is how to go about Battle of the Belts. 4 times a year, in between the major pay-per-views for 2 hours. Now, I'm glad that it's going to be live, and I'm glad that it's going to have a hot crowd from Collision. I'm happy about that. but that doesn't mean that this is the correct way to go. I was okay with it for the first couple of Battle of the Belts because I had a feeling that it was going to be more of a test run. It was going to be more of a test run to kick off the Battle of the Belts era. It was going to be a test run to start off the Battle of the Belts era, and then after a while, they would expand it to 2 hours, and it will become their true mini pay-per-views. I think that we've had enough of the test run of Battle of the Belts. It's time that we expand Battle of the Belts and make it their true mini pay-per-views. I am very, very fond of the whole Battle of the Belts concept, where championships are on the line. Every single match is a championship match. But people are not going to care about that in the long run when you only have 3 matches on the show for 1 hour. It's pretty much going to become Rampage 2.0. We need these shows to be 2 hours live on the Sunday, right in the middle of the month, in between their big 4 pay-per-views, in between Revolution Double or Nothing All Out Full Gear, and Full Gear and Revolution. That is the way to go. We need to expand this to 2 hours. This whole test run when it comes to Battle of the Belts, we've had enough of it. It was fine in the beginning, but now I think it's time Tony Khan really starts talking to Time Warner and tells them we need to make Battle of the Belts our legit, true mini pay-per-views. And in the end, it should work out better for every party involved. Moving on here, I got a report regarding a couple of New Japan Pro Wrestling stars. According to Wrestling Observer newsletter, El Desperado and Minoru Suzuki have been working with New Japan Pro Wrestling, but they are not under contracts. Now, this is the reason why El Desperado has been popping up at a lot of independent events. El Desperado has been popping up at a lot of indie events in and around the country, in and around the world, and now we have a reason why. I'm not really sure what's going on with Minoru Suzuki and El Desperado. I think that they're both very good. I prefer Desperado over Suzuki, if I'm going to be quite honest here. Suzuki, listen, I'm very, very impressed that he can still go for his age. What is he, 54 years old? But at the end of the day, I think that Suzuki, as of right now, is rather limited for his age. El Desperado, on the other hand, he's amazing at what he does. And I don't think anyone has an issue with seeing El Desperado on their TV screen. I mean, if you do, then obviously you have a problem. You're not a real pro wrestling fan. But they are working without contracts for New Japan Professional Wrestling. So I will keep you guys updated. I'm not sure if we're going to see them on any other promotions anytime soon. But I mean, if you ask me, I would not mind seeing El Desperado on Ring of Honor a bit more, because we actually had a very, very solid match with El Desperado and Willie Mack on Ring of Honor. We had that, I believe it was last Thursday. Not July 6th. This was last Thursday. I believe it was June 29th. I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken. El Desperado and Willie Mack actually put on a very solid match on Ring of Honor television. So I know how good El Desperado is. Fightful and PW Insider, they reported that Colt Cabana was back at work for All Elite Wrestling during the July 5th episode of Dynamite. He is now back there as a coach and a producer, and he'll probably be working occasional Ring of Honor shows when they need him. But Colt Cabana was not on the show, and it doesn't look like he will be a focal point on the show whatsoever, as Colt Cabana has transitioned into a coach and a producer. I'm not really sure what the issue there is with Colt Cabana or CM Punk, or if there's still tension there. I'm not really sure how they're going to format this going forward. But I mean, if he's working as a coach and a producer, then it is what it is. I don't really have an issue with it. In the end, Colt Cabana is ultimately a non-factor. CM Punk's the one on Collision. Colt Cabana is the one on Dynamite. It is what it is. Fightful also reported that Diamante has been bumped from a Tier 0 contract to a full-time deal with AEW, and she was added to the roster back in May. So I do not have an issue with that. I actually think that Diamante is pretty decent as long as she's paired with the right talent. She's had a couple of rather sloppy matches in recent memory, but ultimately I do not mind Diamante whatsoever. She's been wrestling a lot on Ring of Honor television, for those of you that do not know. She's been wrestling a lot on Ring of Honor television, and Ring of Honor television, it's on Thursday on Honor Club. Not really sure where she's going to go right now with Athena as the women's champion, although Athena could very well lose the Ring of Honor Women's Championship to Willow Nightingale. She's got that Owen Hart semifinal match tonight. Now, what's interesting is that one could swing either way. If Willow beats Athena and doesn't win the tournament, she could still go out of her way and she could still challenge Athena for the Ring of Honor Women's Championship at Death Before Dishonor on July 21st. And if anything, that is probably the best route to go because I don't see any other individual that is fit to challenge Athena other than Willow Nightingale. And it would certainly be a rather interesting story for Willow. It would certainly be a big story for Willow. Hoolagrim's actually in the chat right now. Shout out to him. I was talking to Hoolagrim a couple weeks ago regarding Forbidden Door, and we were talking about Willow Nightingale. Willow Nightingale has had one hell of a year thus far, especially since the summer started up. This summer has honestly been the summer of Willow Nightingale. She's been doing great. She really has. But Diamante, she is now signed to a full-time deal with AEW, and she is working the Ring of Honor brand going forward. Dave Meltzer provided us a couple of updates regarding NXT. Let's start with Baron Corbin. Dave Meltzer provided an update on Baron Corbin on NXT. He stated, and I quote, "He's a regular now in NXT, and there's going to be more people like that." Now, if you guys are wondering why WWE is pushing main roster talent on NXT, it is because we are in the midst of WWE trying to renew NXT's deal with the USA Network. And if I was USA, I would say, fuck no. I would have WWE put NXT on Peacock because it's a shit show. And then AEW can either move Rampage or Collision to Tuesdays. And we actually balance out the wrestling week a little bit because NXT just feels like a blemish on wrestling television. It really does. NXT just feels like it's there. It's just a complete non-factor. There's no energy. There's no real investment. And the entire vibe of the show just feels off. The entire vibe of the show just feels blah. And the agenda that they're pushing, the agenda of, oh yeah, NXT is a third brand now. Meanwhile, you had NXT as a third brand years and years ago, and you neglected it and treated it like the redheaded stepchild because it wasn't your creation. Look at what happened with Survivor Series already. With Survivor Series was announced and no War Games. Survivor Series was announced and we got no War Games. I mean, holy shit. Vince McMahon already fucking destroyed Triple H's vision for WWE. Now, I mean, you could have at least kept that. You could have at least kept that, but no. Now we got to go back to the brand versus brand warfare for Survivor Series that didn't even work. Matter of fact, I'll talk about this a little bit later. Why couldn't you just compromise like you did for Money in the Bank? You could do brand versus brand War Games. You could do that, but no. No, of course not. But people are coming from the main roster and going to NXT because WWE's got to push NXT as a legit third brand, and we got to renew the deal with NXT and the USA Network. Because now Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard, they have their hands all over it. They got their hands all over it, and they want to make it into WWE's legit third brand. Meanwhile, you had the opportunity and you failed at it. People are not going to trust you anymore. They're not. But Baron Corbin, listen. We're going to stick to Baron Corbin here before we move on to the other report with NXT. Baron Corbin, I truthfully believe that he could have a resurgence in NXT. Baron Corbin has been a dead act on the main roster for years and years and years, ever since they got rid of the Lone Wolf gimmick. Now, they brought back the Lone Wolf for one night only, but then this past Tuesday, in a promotional package, we had Baron Corbin burning all of the outfits to his past gimmicks. He was burning the King, he was burning the collar-down shirts that he had with the Happy Corbin gimmick, and he was burning the Lone Wolf attire. So Baron Corbin, listen, if we're going to get a more serious, a more focused, a more determined Baron Corbin, I don't have an issue with that in the long run whatsoever. As long as Baron Corbin is stern, as long as he's focused, as long as he's going out there and just being a complete badass, I don't care. As long as we get some form of a badass Baron Corbin and not a comedic Baron Corbin, I truthfully believe that Baron Corbin could have a huge resurgence on the NXT brand. Ultimately, it is going to be up to WWE on whether or not they want to book Baron Corbin like a serious threat, because Baron Corbin has virtually become a fucking jobber on the main roster ever since they got rid of the Lone Wolf gimmick. Wrestling Observer newsletter. They also reported that there is actually internal talk about taking NXT on the road and taping NXT television outside of Orlando, as well as running house shows in smaller venues outside of Florida. However, the merger with UFC is currently holding up some major changes. I truthfully don't give a shit where NXT is taped. I don't give a shit where any wrestling show is taped. It could be taped in a fucking barn for all I care. It could be taped out in a cornfield with cows shitting everywhere. I don't care where a wrestling show is taped. All I care about is if it's a good show or not. I don't care where you hold a Money in the Bank, or where you hold a WrestleMania, or where you hold AEW Dynamite, or where you hold All In. I don't care. All I want is a show worth watching. That's all I care about. And in the end, NXT is not a show worth watching. You see better quality on Rampage than you do NXT television. And Rampage is a 1-hour show on most weeks that's overstuffed. But in the end, at least we get some quality wrestling on Rampage, and at least we get people being booked strong on Rampage. At least we get some consistencies on Rampage. We don't get anything on Tuesday nights. We get a very childish, a very low-key, a very lax, a very lackluster vibe with NXT, with all this talent that's on the brand that I want to care about, and I do care about them, but in the long run, I don't care about them enough to go out of my way to watch NXT and review it consistently. I watch it, but I don't take notes on it and I don't review it. And there's a reason why. It's simply because of the fact that NXT and the vibes surrounding it, it's got this Vince vibe. It's got this Vince vibe, and it's got this forced vibe of, yeah, this is the future. This is how we're going to book the future. This is our vision, and you're going to like it, and you're going to have to deal with it. No. NXT, at one point, was the best wrestling program on television. It wasn't even on television. It was on the fucking WWE network. NXT and that black and gold era, that was the best wrestling era since the Attitude Era. The best eras of wrestling. Attitude Era was number 1, and NXT Black and Gold is right under there at number 2. Nothing could compare to NXT Black and Gold. Whether it be the 2016 era of SmackDown, whether it be Monday Night Raw back in 2008, whether it be AEW Dynamite or AEW Collision, it doesn't matter. The pandemic era of Dynamite was such a great era. And we had so many memories in the pandemic era of Dynamite. It doesn't matter. Absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, measured up to NXT Black and Gold. Nothing. And Vince killed it. Vince destroyed it. He destroyed it not because of AEW. Because in the end, Vince McMahon for years watched as Triple H embarrassed him, not on a quarterly basis. You could take a look at all these NXT takeovers, and these NXT takeovers, they were great, but it wasn't just the takeovers. It was weekly television. Weekly television. Every single week. Weekly television. Triple H embarrassed Vince McMahon. 1 hour of NXT was better than 5 hours of Raw and SmackDown combined into one. NXT was outshining everything that Raw and SmackDown was doing, and Raw and SmackDown had the bigger stars. That is pathetic. But of course, Vince is not going to admit that. Vince only looks at it as Triple H defied me. Triple H embarrassed me. You don't embarrass me. I'm Vince McMahon. I can do no wrong. I am Jesus Christ, and you will kneel at my feet. That's all that Vince McMahon thought about. And Vince McMahon infiltrated NXT over the pandemic and slowly but surely injecting it with poison to kill it and kill it and kill it and kill it. And Triple H could do nothing about it. He could do absolutely nothing about it. And now that Triple H is pretty much powerless, Vince McMahon is back in creative and he's running everything. It doesn't matter how you look at it. He's either remotely there or he's in the flesh. He's involved with SmackDown. He's involved with Raw. He's involved with NXT. And he has destroyed it all. Triple H had a vision. He had a vision for Raw. He had a vision for SmackDown. Vince came in at the beginning of the year. He got unanimously reelected to the board, and he killed Triple H's vision again. He killed it. Now, you want to have the NXT brand venture outside of Florida. Let me tell you something. No one gives a fuck about NXT. Nobody. You can claim and clamor about all these fucking ratings, about how Collision ratings are low and Rampage ratings are low. Doesn't matter how low those ratings are. More people care about Collision and Rampage than they do NXT. And you know why? Because we actually get quality material there. We have quality stars on Tuesday nights, but the creative direction on Tuesday nights is the reason that people are not going to tune in to watch. And that's the reason why people are not going to tune in to watch the shows on a weekly basis, no matter where they are emanating from. It doesn't matter. Vince killed NXT Black and Gold out of pure pettiness because Triple H was upstaging him every single week. Now they want to make it a legit third brand after they killed what was the best wrestling show on television with NXT Black and Gold. Now they want to invest heavy in it and try and take it on the road outside of Orlando. You got to get all these main roster stars on NXT so we can have the deal with USA Renewed. That shit ain't going to work. It ain't going to work because in the end, no one's going to give a fuck about it because you've already destroyed the trust that the fans had with NXT. You destroyed the best era of professional wrestling since the Attitude Era. Now you want to take it on the road, and you're going to ask yourself, oh, why aren't people buying tickets to these shows? Why don't people care about NXT? It's because you fucking destroyed the future in the past, so now we're not going to care about it going forward. Simple as that. Vince probably is going to sit there. He's probably going to wonder, oh, why? Why aren't people buying tickets to these shows? Why don't people care about NXT? He'll probably fire Shawn Michaels. Triple H ain't even going to be able to save Shawn. He's probably going to fire Shawn Michaels as a scapegoat. And he's probably going to put Bruce Pritchard there permanently if he's not there already. I don't care. I don't care where NXT goes. Because at the end of the day, it's still a shit show. You could take a pile of shit, and you could take it from Florida, and you could take a pile of shit and put it in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's still a pile of shit. You could take the pile of shit, put it on a plane, fly it to New Jersey and have it sit in New Jersey. It'll be a pile of shit in New Jersey. That's NXT. It's going to be a pile of shit flying from town to town. And it's sad. It's sad. You know why? Because there's a lot of great talent on NXT. Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, the Creeds, Idris Inoue and Malik Blade, Tony D'Angelo, Gallus, Wes Lee, Tyler Bate. They're all great. But no one cares. Why? Because Vince didn't care. So if Vince didn't care, why are we going to care? Speaking of care, there was a decision that had a lot of care going into it and a lot of care going out. WrestleVotes provided a tweet to elaborate on the backstage reaction to Roman Reigns getting pinned at Money in the Bank. The tweet read, and I quote, "There was a feeling of trepidation from a high-ranking creative member in crafting the finish from this past Saturday's Bloodline match. A strong argument that Roman Reigns shouldn't be pinned prior to losing the title was present throughout the process." End quote. I'm going to end this argument right now. Roman Reigns should not have been pinned. Roman should not have been pinned. He should not have been pinned as champion. He should not have been pinned until he lost the championship. You know why they did what they did? They did what they did because they don't know any better. They did what they did because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. They did what they did because they wanted a shocking moment. They did what they did because they do not know how to treat something special when it is in their possession. Cody Rhodes was special. They fucked him up. LA Knight was special. He's not fucked up yet. He's not fucked up yet, but he should have won Money in the Bank. Roman Reigns is special. Or at least he was. He's not special because of his undefeated streak anymore. Roman Reigns not being pinned for 3.5 years, should be going on 4 years. That right there went hand in hand with him holding the championship for as long as he's held the championship. That right there, they worked hand in hand and they elevated Roman on a pedestal. If Jey Uso pinned Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns wasn't the champion and he'd already lost the title to Cody Rhodes, I would have been completely fine with that. And the majority of the fans would have been completely fine with that. Roman Reigns, yeah, he can lose. But if you're the world champion, if you have such value that Roman Reigns has, and you are one of the longest reigning world champions ever, top 5 longest reigning world champions ever, top 5, and you take a loss like that to a man in Jey Uso that didn't even need it, will take it and will do nothing with it. What's he going to do? He's going to lose at SummerSlam. The match will be Jey Uso versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, and Jey Uso's going to lose. And if he doesn't lose and he wins, he's going to hold that championship for at most 2 months. At most 2 months. Matter of fact, he may not even make it out of SummerSlam. He may not even make it out of SummerSlam with the championship. If Jey Uso wins, I would not be shocked if Damian Priest swoops in and cashes in his Money in the Bank contract and beats Jey Uso right then and there. I wouldn't be shocked at all. I wouldn't. But you've already wasted Roman Reigns and his undefeated streak on Jey Uso, a man who didn't need it, a man who was already a made individual, a man who already had a Hall of Fame career, a man who's a tag team wrestler. Well, it didn't even have to be Cody. It didn't even have to be Cody. You could have chosen anyone. Matt Riddle, Gunther, Priest, LA Knight, Solo Sikoa. Hell, it didn't even need to be Solo, but Solo. I mean, the comparisons with Triple H and Batista, they're right there. They're right there, and everyone is looking at Solo and thinking to themselves, man, he's the Batista of this group. He's the Batista of this group, and he is going to be the one to potentially take down Roman Reigns in the end of this all. I don't really get it. Half of Roman's mystique is now gone. Half of his mystique is now gone because you elected to have Jey Uso be the one to pin Roman Reigns after 3.5 years. It's fucking stupid. It really is stupid. I honestly don't fucking understand. How anyone can sit there and defend it is beyond me. And if you are one of these people that's going to sit here and defend it, I have no problem looking you dead in the eye and calling you a fucking retard, because you are one. Roman Reigns should not have been pinned. And whoever is feeling this feeling of trepidation, they have every right to feel that way, because Roman Reigns was not the correct man to take the pin. He wasn't. Solo should have taken the pin. Because in the end, the story now is, how are the Usos going to free Solo Sikoa from this manipulation that Roman Reigns has him ball and chained by? Roman's manipulation, he's poisoned Solo's mind. Roman has poisoned Solo's mind, and now it is all up to the Usos to try and save Solo Sikoa from Roman Reigns and Roman's manipulation. I'm telling you. Solo Sikoa was the perfect man to take the pin. Solo Sikoa was the perfect man to take the pin. Because with Solo taking the pin, Roman Reigns would have a reason to be angry with Solo Sikoa. Roman has always been relaxed. He's always been very cordial. He's always been very civil with Solo Sikoa. And Solo Sikoa, there's been a couple of scenarios where Solo Sikoa has given Roman Reigns some nasty side looks, and Roman Reigns almost cowered away from Solo Sikoa. Roman Reigns has shown fear to Solo Sikoa. That's something that we never see from Roman Reigns. But with Solo losing, it would have been interesting to see, how will Roman Reigns react when Solo doesn't get the job done? Solo has done everything that he's asked, and Solo's always gotten the job done. And if he didn't get the job done at Money in the Bank, what would Roman Reigns have done? Roman Reigns has no excuse. There's no excuse whatsoever. Now, after what happened last night, no matter what you think, listen, I saw the Tribal Court segment. I did. I saw the Tribal Court segment. It was brilliant. It was pure cinema. The beatdown was great. Roman Reigns fake crying and then low blowing Jey Uso. It was all great. But in the end, underneath it all, Roman Reigns looks like a fucking sore loser. There's no excuse. It doesn't matter how you look at it. Roman Reigns wants to try and brush it off like it was nothing. But in the end, half of his mystique is gone. And all he did was look like a sore loser last night. No matter how great that segment was. And it was one of the best segments of the year. Trust me. But he looked like a sore loser. With Solo losing, Solo would have taken the blame. And now it would have been interesting to see how Roman Reigns would have treated Solo Sikoa, if he would have treated Solo the same way that he treated the Usos, or if he would have been more relaxed and the Usos would call out that Roman Reigns is afraid of Solo Sikoa. Now we don't have that. Roman Reigns should not have been pinned. If you were going to have Roman Reigns take the pin here, then he should have lost the championship to Cody Rhodes back at WrestleMania. But you didn't do that. Vince didn't do that. This is what Vince wants. Everything that you see is all the work of Vince McMahon. And everything is slowly but surely starting to fall apart, no matter how good it really is. The Bloodline storyline is the best storyline since the Yes Movement angle. But in the end, Roman Reigns had no reason to take the pin. It should have been Solo, because then it would have been a nice story to see how Roman would have treated Solo after Solo would have lost the tag team match for him. If Roman was going to take the pin here, he should have lost to Cody. If Cody Rhodes was the world champion right now and Roman was going into this without the world title like he should have, things would have worked out a lot better. What's going to happen now? Roman looks like a sore loser after what happened on SmackDown with the beatdown. We're going to get Roman and Jey Uso. Jey Uso is not going to win, and if he does win, he's not going to hold that title long. I wouldn't be surprised, like I already said, if Damian Priest swoops in and cashes in his Money in the Bank contract on Jey Uso to become the champion should Jey Uso beat Roman Reigns. In the end, Roman shouldn't have been pinned. Moving on here, we're coming down the home stretch of these reports. I do have an update from Dave Meltzer. Dave Meltzer was in the news a lot this week. Meltzer gave us an update on the SummerSlam card and stated that most of it seems to already be laid out. It reads as follows: Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. Should have expected that. Cody Rhodes, Brock Lesnar. I mean, after what happened last Monday, it would only make sense. Trish Stratus versus Becky Lynch. Why? I don't know. We already saw that at Night of Champions, and if anything, I would actually do a tag team match with Lita and Becky versus Zoe and Trish, because at least Zoe would have been in a high-profile match at the second biggest show of the year. But no. We got to get another Trish versus Becky match. Then we got Asuka, Charlotte, and Bianca. Expected that. Gunther and Drew McIntyre. I mean, after what happened at Money in the Bank, it's clear as day where they're going there. Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler, and Logan Paul versus Ricochet. So, a rather predictable SummerSlam card. If they play their cards right, it should be a decent show. I just hope that they do add LA Knight versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. Now, Logan Paul versus Ricochet, I do want to talk about that a little bit. I'm actually very happy that they're doing Logan Paul versus Ricochet at SummerSlam. I really am. Because if anything, an LA Knight versus Logan Paul match, yeah, it would have been entertaining, it would have been fun, but in the end of it all, what would it have really done? Would it have really helped LA Knight? The fans want a push for LA Knight. A push is not putting someone against a guy that wrestles less than MJF does. The fact that MJF has wrestled more than Logan Paul, that's actually quite surprising, because MJF only wrestles when it matters. But Logan Paul is wrestling less than MJF. But Logan Paul, and the two biggest viral moments that he's had all year, it's because of one man, Ricochet. Ricochet is the reason why Logan Paul has had all these viral moments. And with Logan Paul as Ricochet's opponent, that would be a great opportunity for Ricochet to finally get himself on a major card in a meaningful way. Ricochet has had just about the same amount of pay-per-view matches as Logan Paul. How? I don't fucking know, because quite frankly, I think that's pathetic. I think that's pathetic that Ricochet has the same amount of pay-per-view matches as Logan Paul. Ricochet should be on every single fucking pay-per-view this year. He's that damn good. But he's not. They have not booked Ricochet meaningful in any way, shape, or form. But now that we're getting a face-to-face with Logan Paul and Ricochet on Monday, that is going to put Ricochet in a primetime spot that he's deserved. And if anything, if there's one guy that could top what Logan Paul did with Seth Rollins at WrestleMania and what Logan Paul did with Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel, I think that Ricochet could absolutely be that guy. We could be on the verge of Logan Paul's best match in WWE to date if they give these guys time. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Matter of fact, it's the perfect match for both men. And it frees up Austin Theory and LA Knight to have a match for the United States Championship at SummerSlam, because I think that everyone should be in agreement here. I think it's time that we get that United States Championship off of Austin Theory. Austin Theory is great. Austin Theory is great, but you can tell when it's time, and it's time. It's time for Austin Theory to get that title and drop it to someone else. After the draft, and this is not his fault, but after he beat Bronson Reed and Bobby Lashley at Backlash, they have done absolutely nothing with him. He's had a couple decent matches with Sheamus, but ultimately, he has not been a focal point, and that's what happens when you focus all of your energy into the Bloodline storyline and you neglect everything else. I'm glad that he's had a nice, solid reign with it. He's held it for 230 days plus. I'm glad. But they haven't done anything with him since the draft, and you can sense that it's time for him to lose the title. LA Knight didn't win Money in the Bank. That's fine. He should have, but he didn't. But he has a perfect segue into getting that push that we all also desire for him to get. He is the perfect man to take that title off of Austin Theory at SummerSlam. And my final report before we get into the weekly shows, we will be talking about Raw, Dynamite, and Rampage. Hallelujah! Praise be to God, the greatest news that anyone could have received. During Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer insinuated that SummerSlam could be Ronda Rousey's final match in WWE. Now, if LA Knight was here, I would tell him to give me a yeah. Meltzer reported this was always the plan. The thing was that I was saying Ronda Rousey and Shayna were winning the tag titles, and then Ronda got hurt. The thing is that I don't know the date, and it might be SummerSlam. It might be a bit after, but the deal is Ronda has a hard out, you know? I mean, she gave a date. This is my last date, because I remember talking to someone there, and it's like, well, you know, I know they're going to do this. So in the end, Ronda Rousey's match could very well be her final match at SummerSlam against Shayna Baszler. And I got no issue with that whatsoever. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Shayna and Rousey, I mean, I've been waiting for this match forever. If anything, Shayna should have been the one to beat Ronda Rousey for the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania, and Rhea Ripley should have gone on to fight, not Charlotte, Bianca Belair. And Ripley should have been the Raw Women's Champion, while Shayna should have been the SmackDown Women's Champion. Or if anything, if you had to get Charlotte on the card, then you could have had Shayna beat Ronda for the title at the Rumble, and then you could have had Charlotte take on Shayna at the Rumble. Not at the Rumble, at WrestleMania, excuse me. Shayna could have beaten Ronda at the Rumble, and then Shayna could have taken on Charlotte at WrestleMania, and Shayna could have beaten Charlotte at WrestleMania while Ripley won the Rumble, and she challenged Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. But they didn't do that. Ronda Rousey is gone. Good. And I hope that that's the case, because she has done nothing in her second run. The only positive aspect of her second run was probably that match with Raquel Rodriguez back on the final SmackDown of 2022. That was probably her best match since her match with Mercedes Moné back at the Rumble 2019. Outside of that, Ronda has done absolutely nothing. There were no new stars made, no memorable moments, no good matches outside of that one match with Raquel, and if anything, she brought Shayna Baszler down a few pegs. If anything, she destroyed whatever little credibility Shayna Baszler had. If anything, I would have had Shayna Baszler beat Liv Morgan at Clash at the Castle. I wouldn't have wasted any fucking time. That didn't happen. Ronda Rousey has done nothing in her second run, and the only reason why Ronda Rousey was brought back in her second run was because WWE, i.e. Vince, was so fucking lazy, they couldn't be bothered to build up any other new stars in the women's division. And hell, even now, after Ronda Rousey is on her way out, after Charlotte Flair has lost the championship, and you got Asuka, and you got Rhea as the champion. Even now, they can't even build up any new stars. So much so that you have Natalya fighting Rhea Ripley for the Raw Women's Championship. Natalya actually put on one of the best matches on Raw this past Monday. That was probably the best match of the entire night on Monday Night Raw. Natalya and Rhea Ripley. That was a damn good women's match. But look at what happened with Candice LeRae. Look at what happened with Tegan Nox. You have Tegan Nox out there teaming with fucking Dana Brooke or Nikki Cross. Nikki Cross is a fucking bum. Indy Hartwell has been absolutely fucking buried. She hasn't been showcased at all on the main roster. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, I mean, holy shit. They're like on the verge of being dead. The entire women's tag team division, or lack thereof a division, that their entire fucking roster of black and gold stars were all fucking buried by Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. Fucking joke. But now Ronda Rousey's on her way out. I wish she would have never came back. Ronda Rousey made the women's division something special in her first run. Her first run with the company, Ronda Rousey brought some credibility to the women's division. We had a lot, and I mean a lot, of great moments back in 2018. Ronda Rousey in that mixed tag team match with Kurt Angle, Triple H, and Stephanie, that was fucking awesome. Ronda Rousey brought Nia Jax to probably her best matches ever. Ronda's matches with Nia Jax, probably, there was a point in time where Ronda and Nia actually put on a better match than Seth Rollins and Jon Moxley did back at Tables, Ladders, and Chairs in 2018. I don't even know how that's fucking possible. Everyone was benefiting from Ronda Rousey. Becky was benefiting. Charlotte benefited. Asuka benefited. Bayley, Sasha, they all benefited. They all benefited, and they all felt important. And then after Becky Lynch beat Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35, coincidentally, right in my backyard in East Rutherford, New Jersey, the women's division went to shit. And the fans had it drilled in their mind, if Vince is not going to care, about the women's division after Ronda Rousey made it great the first time around, why should we care? You're not going to have Ronda Rousey come back and do what she did the first time, because now it's not about one woman anymore. It's about the overall division. If you are not going to put effort into the overall division, no one's going to give a fuck about it. I'm glad Ronda Rousey's going, because to be quite honest with you, Ronda Rousey, there, or if she's not there, it doesn't make a difference. The women's division sucks with her there. Matter of fact, it's actually even worse with her there. Women's wrestling in WWE sucks. They have built 0 new stars in WWE. Why don't you go over to AEW's side of the fence and look at what Tony Khan is doing? Athena is fucking kicking ass in every sense of the word. Athena right now is having one of the most dominant women's championship title reigns that we have seen in God knows how long. She's having the most dominant women's title reign since Shayna Baszler had her NXT women's title reign back in NXT. Athena right now is kicking ass. Look at the new stars being created. Jamie Hayter was made into a new star. Willow Nightingale's coming up through the rankings. Sky Blue has improved leaps and bounds. Ruby Soho is finally getting her just due. Billie Starks is a woman that has been showcased on Ring of Honor and on AEW television. And Billie Starks, she's actually been showcasing a lot of talent. For 18 years old, Billie Starks has got something. You got Athena, you got Willow Nightingale, you got Sky Blue, you got Toni Storm's the women's champion, Britt Baker, you got Ruby Soho, you got Jamie Hayter, who's going to come back. Hopefully she should take the title back at All In. Chris Statlander, look at what fucking Chris Statlander's doing. Chris Statlander is doing some great shit as the TBS champion. And she could have a new challenger in her future after what happened on Rampage this week. They're not perfect. They're not perfect by any means. But if you were to compare AEW and WWE, AEW's women's division is fucking wiping the floor with WWE. Ronda Rousey is gone. Good. See you later. Don't come back. Get knocked up again by Travis Brown. Those are your news, rumors, and reports. Thank you all, my fellow retards, for sticking by me and paying attention. But now, it's time for me to educate the retarded masses because I am going to talk about Monday Night Raw, Dynamite, and Rampage. Like I said, I did not watch SmackDown simply because of the fact that I was at ISPW. So, why don't we go into Monday Night Raw, and Monday Night Raw, legitimately a 3-highlight show. A 3-highlight show. There was merely 3 things on this show to invest your time in, at least for this show. It was Rhea Ripley and Natalya. It was the promo that Shayna Baszler cut on Ronda Rousey, and the dissension within the Judgment Day between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Those are the only things to invest your time in with Monday Night Raw. Outside of that, if you were to skip this show, I would tell you, don't go back and rewatch it. Don't go back and rewatch it. So Rollins came out to the ring first. Crowd singing his song. He goes, "Welcome to Monday Night Rollins. I am your host. I am a visionary. I am a revolutionary. I am Seth freaking Rollins." Talked about how sweet Money in the Bank was. Let's not overhype it, Mr. Rollins. It was a good show. It was not a great show. He goes, "We got a new Miss Money in the Bank. It's not Becky Lynch, but give it up for Io Sky. We also got Senor Money in the Bank with Damian Priest, and I defeated Finn Balor. SummerSlam is only 5 weeks away, and there is only one thing on my mind." Obviously, he is insinuating who is going to challenge him for the World Heavyweight title at SummerSlam. Cody Rhodes then came out. With the crowd singing his song, and we hear the "oh!" So we get the whole "oh" thing. Cody came out to the ring, and he goes, "So," he didn't even get to say what you want to talk about, but obviously he was going to go and challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title. I mean, if you wanted any more fucking reason to not care about Cody Rhodes, I mean, holy shit. You really want to drive home the fact that this title is a secondary championship. You have Cody Rhodes insinuating that he wants Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. So he didn't even get another word out after he said so. Brock Lesnar's music hit, and he finally showed up after all these weeks. Cody and Brock, we had a brawl. Cody delivered a Cody cutter, and Brock rolled out of the ring as Cody stood tall. Rollins walked out of the ring, and then coming back from commercial, Rollins walked back into the ring after Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar had their little brawl. So let me ask you this. Yeah, Brock Lesnar coming out. We hear that guitar riff. We hear the and yeah, Brock Lesnar with the cowboy hat strutting out. You have Cody Rhodes in there looking behind him as if he's trying to be some badass version of John Wick. And then he's looking at Lesnar. We get the brawl. We get the Cody cutter. We get a commercial. We get all this shit with Cody and Brock. And then they're not in the ring anymore. And Rollins is still in the ring with this fucking crop top blazer. I mean, as if it's the fucking 80s. I swear to God. Rollins drip, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. His drip attire just fucking pisses me off. His drip attire is legitimately a fucking eyesore to me. It's not the fucking 80s anymore. Get rid of these fucking crop top blazers and shit. Let me ask you a question. Why, I repeat, why Didn't this happen at Money in the Bank? Why did we have to wait 48 hours later for Brock Lesnar to show up? And now we get the build towards this match at SummerSlam, the third and hope to God final match with Cody Rhodes and Brock Lesnar. You really couldn't have been bothered to offer Brock Lesnar a couple more millions to fly his way out. I mean, holy shit. You just sold the company for fucking how much money? 21 billion fucking dollars? How much money did they literally did their shit money out their ass? And you can't spend a couple extra million? It's fucking play money to Vince McMahon. You couldn't spend a couple extra million to fly Brock Lesnar out to London, to have Brock Lesnar cost Cody Rhodes the match against Dominic Mysterio, have Dominic win, and then you could have started the build after that? Why did we need to wait till Monday to have Brock Lesnar show up when it should have happened at Money in the Bank? Did you not want to fly Brock Lesnar out there? But I'm not supposed to sit here and complain, right? I'm not supposed to sit here and say that, yeah, this isn't lazy. This is exactly what I would have done. Vince McMahon, I am a genius. It's like they don't even care. What the fuck am I saying? Of course they don't care. The more money that flows into their pockets, the less they care. I don't care. They do not care. If it makes sense, they're going to do the opposite. This should have happened at Money in the Bank. Cody Rhodes should have been cost by Brock Lesnar. What did the match do at Money in the Bank for Dominic or Cody? It did nothing. It did nothing. It was nothing more than a 9-minute interim match before Cody finally gets to Brock Lesnar, and hopefully to God this ends. Which, by the way, it has been 3 months and not one single hint, not one single iota of a reason as to why this is even happening. Brock Lesnar has given us zero rhyme or reason. And wait till you see what happened next. So Rollins is still in the ring with the crowd singing his song, the whoa, whoa, oh, whoa, whoa. Rollins says, those boys got some unfinished business. What business did they even have to begin with, Rollins? I'm trying to figure out why the fuck Brock Lesnar attacked Cody in the first place. All of a sudden, Judgment Day came out. Rhea said, everyone is here to see the Judgment Day take over. And Rollins, as if he's reciting nursery rhymes, he does a play on the Three Little Pigs. This is WWE television. You have Cody Rhodes quoting, hello, little kitties, rat-a-tat-tat, don't you know who I am? I'm the Cat in the Hat. You got Rollins asking, hey, where's Finny Fin Fin? Trying to do a play on words from the fucking Three Little Pigs. When you got the fucking big bad wolf outside the pig's house. The pig made his house out of straw, and the big bad wolf goes, little pigs, let me in. And then you got the fucking little pig going, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. You got Rollins going, oh, where's Finny Fin Fin? So we got Rollins doing a play on words of the Three Little Pigs, and you got Cody quoting the Cat in the Hat. But yeah, Triple H is in charge, right? Triple H is, yeah, he's absolutely in charge. Retards, all of you. Priest said that you shouldn't be worrying about Finn, and Priest reminded Rollins that he could cash in at any time. Rollins said, I don't have a match tonight. I was going to go party in Baltimore. Crowd listened to the crowd sing his song. Priest and Rhea then pitched that Dom should challenge Rollins. The crowd booed. Crowd chanted, you suck. Rhea said that Dom said he wants to fight Rollins, and Rollins accepted. So let me ask you this question now. I'm pretty sure that people aren't asking this. Let me ask you this question, right? wouldn't it have made more sense if Dominic Mysterio had beaten Cody Rhodes with the help of Brock Lesnar, and then Dom could have rubbed it in everyone's face saying, hey, I beat Cody Rhodes. Let me get a shot at Seth Rollins. But no, Cody Rhodes beats Dominic Mysterio, and then here is Dom coming out to challenge Seth Rollins when we all know how this is going to end. Rollins wasn't going to get pinned. You have Dom coming out and saying, hey, I want to fight Seth Rollins. Meanwhile, what makes you think you should even be standing in the same ring as Seth Rollins when you lost to Cody Rhodes in less than 10 minutes at Money in the Bank? But yet I'm not supposed to sit here and complain. Moving on here, we got Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura. Priest and Nakamura, they had a match here. And this was actually one of the better things on the show. This was probably, if anything, if I'm going to rate this match in terms of quality, this was probably the second best thing on the show. Probably the second best thing on the show in terms of a wrestling standpoint. So Nakamura was in control. He hit Damian Priest in the gut with a knee. Priest with a broken arrow on the barricade. Coming back from commercial, Nakamura then came back with a sliding German and a single leg drop kick for a 2. We had a tornado kick by Damian Priest and then a rebound enziguri by Nakamura. We had a middle rope Kinshasa. Nakamura was then caught with the Pepsi twist, a hammerlock lariat. And then Damian Priest delivered the South of Heaven for the 1-2-3. And Damian Priest won this match clean. Good. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Holy shit, Damian Priest, Mr. Money in the Bank, won a match clean. That's how it should be. Damian Priest beat Shinsuke Nakamura clean, and now Damian Priest maintains his momentum, continues to build on his win at Money in the Bank, and that was it. Good. That should be the case with all Mr. or Mrs. Money in the Bank. I'm glad that Damian Priest won. That's what he should be winning. He should be winning matches clean without the help of the Judgment Day. Wrestling with Savage says Damian Priest will be a champ soon. Yes, he will. If anything, I would not be shocked if Jey Uso beats Roman Reigns at SummerSlam and Damian Priest cashes in on Jey Uso immediately after. Or if anything, I would actually have Damian Priest hold the championship all the way going into WrestleMania. I would have Rollins versus whoever at WrestleMania, and I would actually have Damian Priest cash in the same manner that Seth Rollins cashed in on next year at WrestleMania 40, and Damian Priest becomes the World Heavyweight Champion. That's the way to go about it. Ronda Rousey, she came out before she could even say anything. Shayna Baszler interrupts her, and Shayna Baszler says, "We are sick of hearing you trying to speak into a microphone." No lies detected there by Shayna Baszler. Baszler called Ronda narcissistic. "The only reason you got into this business is because of me, and I don't recall you being at my tryout to support me. See, unlike you, I paid my dues when you waltzed your way in through the back door straight into WrestleMania. I love this, and you ruined it for me. I owe you the reality check that there is someone here that can shut you up," says Shayna Baszler. I mean, holy fuck, where was this Shayna Baszler? Where the fuck was this Shayna Baszler? Easily the best promo that Shayna Baszler's cut on the main roster since she's been up. Shayna Baszler has been fucking destroyed ever since she got called up from NXT. She should have beaten Becky Lynch at WrestleMania 36. Becky even wanted to put her over, but Vince McMahon said no. Finally, Shayna Baszler. Where was this? This Shayna Baszler should have showcased herself years ago. This should have always been the Shayna Baszler that we should have gotten on the main roster. Finally, Shayna Baszler said everything that she needed to say. She said everything that she needed to say, and now Shayna Baszler can finally get back on the right track. If this is part one, if this is step one to getting Shayna Baszler back to being the killer, the queen of spades, Shayna Baszler, I am all for it. I have absolutely no issue with that. As a matter of fact, I would have Shayna Baszler fucking squash Ronda Rousey. I would have Shayna Baszler squash Ronda Rousey at SummerSlam. That's what I would do. I would have her absolutely squash Ronda Rousey, and Shayna Baszler goes on an absolute rampage. And if anything, it looks like we'll have another challenger for Rhea Ripley. Perfect. This was awesome. Shayna Baszler, she then rocked, and I mean rocked, Ronda Rousey with a nasty knee. And Ronda, listen, Ronda sucks, but I will give her a little credit here. She sold this knee beautifully. And Shayna Baszler walked away. We got ourselves a match at SummerSlam. I don't care about the in-ring capacity when it comes to this program, but in the end, Shayna Baszler getting a victory over Ronda Rousey, that will absolutely do her good. Now, I'm not really sure how long it's going to take for Shayna Baszler to fully recover after so many years of shit booking, but either way, this was certainly a good start. So, we got a decent match with Damian Priest and Nakamura. We got a great promo with Shayna Baszler, and then, after that, the show just completely fell off a cliff. The show just completely fell off a cliff, and shit just went up in smoke. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, they came out to watch the Women's Tag Team Championship #1 Contenders Gauntlet match. This was Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green, Tegan Nox and Dana Brooke, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, Nikki Cross and Emma and Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. This was an absolute fucking disgrace. This was an absolute fucking disgrace in every sense of the word. Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green legitimately won every match that they had within 3 minutes or less. Man, what a way to bury all the promising up-and-coming NXT females, huh? And if anything, if you want to know what this match was an absolute fucking spit in the face by Vince McMahon to not only women's wrestling, but NXT Black and Gold. Look at the talent that was destroyed in this match by Sonya and Chelsea. Sonya and Chelsea started at #1. They ran the entire gauntlet. They beat Nikki Cross, NXT girl. Tegan Nox, NXT girl. Candice LeRae, NXT girl. Katana Chance, NXT girl. Kaden Carter, NXT girl. Emma, NXT girl. I mean, holy shit. What more? What more do you need? What more do you need to showcase to you that Vince doesn't give a fuck about women's wrestling, and Vince deliberately did this to embarrass Triple H's creations? What a fucking joke, huh? What a fucking joke. Sonya Deville won. She won the first match with a sliding knee. They had this thing where they did the I'm Prettier into a sliding knee. So Chelsea delivered the I'm Prettier, and then Sonya delivered the knee, and that was the combo of this entire fucking matchup. Candice and Indy were fucking buried. Nikki Cross was distraught because Candice LeRae left her. I don't even know what the fuck their story is. Nikki Cross out just twiddling her thumbs, and she looked like she was about to fucking cry and shit. Sonya and Chelsea eliminated Nox and Dana. They eliminated fucking Emma and Nikki Cross. They eliminated Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. Buried. An absolute fucking disgrace. And it goes to show you that women's wrestling in WWE is dead. I don't care. And I don't think anyone should care. Becky Lynch came out to address the crowd. Becky challenged Trish and Zoe to come on down and fight. Trish came out wearing the face mask that she wore back in the early 2000s. Becky laughed because Trish was not medically cleared to compete. Becky then challenged Zoe Stark. Trish asked if she really wants to do that. Becky said, "She's better than your broke ass anyway." I actually see no lies detected there. That was probably the best line of that entire fucking segment. Trish said that she's the greatest of all time. No, you're not. No, you're not, Trish. No, you're not. Lita has something to say about that. Mercedes Moné has something to say about that. Even Bayley has something to say about that. You weren't even the greatest of your era. You weren't even the greatest of your era. Let's be real here. Hell, I take fucking Athena over you any day, Trish, okay? Unless Trish Stratus is going to be waiting for me in my fucking bed wearing nothing but the cowboy hat, I don't care. I don't care. So, Becky said it was Zoe's fault that she lost, which is true, actually. If Zoe wants to get better, she needs to beat me. You are merely here for your glory rub. What's going to happen with Zoe when you're gone? Why are you still here if you aren't going to fight me? Trish said she's the face of the women's division, and you hated when people said, "Thank you, Trish." Trish said she has a medical appointment, but keep your calendar open for next week for Zoe. I wouldn't even go forth with the match going into SummerSlam. I would just end it after the Becky Lynch, Zoe Stark promo. I would actually just end it. I would end that, and I would not speak of it again. Have Zoe Stark beat Becky Lynch next week, and have that be the end of it. Cody Rhodes again comes out. Cody Rhodes again comes out with the crowd singing a song. Oh! Cody Rhodes said that he's ready to fight, and Brock Lesnar, we're not done. Great. I hope that you are done after SummerSlam, because if you are, I think I may need to start organizing the beverage of the bleach. I think I may need to buy myself a noose. I think I need to ask someone to pass me the pistol. Please put me out of my misery. I cannot stand this Cody Rhodes Brock Lesnar program. Alpha Academy and Maxine Dupree versus the Viking Raiders and Valhalla. I don't know what it was, but I don't care about the storyline, right? I really don't. The storyline is fucking stupid, and if anything, the only thing that I really care about is seeing Maxine Dupree in a tight singlet. But for some weird reason, I don't know why, I actually enjoyed this match a lot more than I expected it to. And part of it is because they're finally portraying the Alpha Academy how they should be portrayed. The Alpha Academy, listen, Chad Gable is great at what he does, but there's no way that anyone can look at me and tell me, yeah, I want to boo Chad Gable and Otis. Nobody wants to boo him. People love him. They're so lovable to a point where no one can bring themselves to boo them. So they made them baby faces. And it was probably one of the best moves that they could have made. And guess what? They're getting over. You look in the crowd and you heard everyone saying, "Thank you," and shoo. Sure, you heard everyone doing it. You heard everybody doing it. Now, the downside to it is similar to what happened with LA Knight. When you get over and it's not on WWE's watch, when you get over and WWE did not have a plan for you to get over, more likely than not, you're going to be buried. But if anything, the Alpha Academy, if I was them, I would have the Alpha Academy actually beat Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for the tag team titles when the time is right. And I would build the Alpha Academy up as top tier baby faces. Are they going to do that? Probably not. Why? Because When this company has gold, they never capitalize on it. They have gold and they pass on it. They see gold, they're mining, and they see gold, and they're like, nah, we don't care about that gold. Let's go digging. You know, and it's almost like they're mining, right? They're mining, and they got some partners, and their partners find gold on their own, and they're pretty much like, nah, we don't want that gold because you found it. The Alpha Academy right now is getting over because of their natural charisma. Are they going to push him? No. Maxine Dupree actually did the Caterpillar. I was actually shocked that she could do it. Maxine Dupree actually got the win here with a sunset flip pin, and the Alpha Academy and Maxine Dupree get the win here. Chad Gable was the MVP of this match, like he is most of the time. And that was it. That was it. I love the Alpha Academy. This storyline really hasn't gone anywhere. And if anything, it's being built up between the managers more so than the actual in-ring talent. But, you know, what the fuck do I know? Rhea Ripley and Natalya for the Women's World Championship. This was actually the best thing on the show. This was the best thing on the show. Natalya attacked Rhea Ripley, wasting no time, and we got straight into the action. Rhea Ripley then bashed Natalya's head against the announce table. Natalya came back with a German suplex. Rhea Ripley with a headbutt. Natalya kicked out. Natalya then with a crossbody from the middle rope onto Rhea. Rhea with a low drop kick coming back from commercial. We had a drop kick to Natalya. Rhea with a swift enziguri. This enziguri by Rhea Ripley here. Rhea Ripley did an enziguri from the ground, and she caught Natalya right in the side of the head. And I swear to God, it looked fucking nasty. I'm not sure if Natalya was just selling or she legitimately got knocked out. It looked fucking ruthless. And I mean ruthless. So we had a missile drop kick. We had a missile drop kick right here by Rhea Ripley. Hurricane Rana by Natalya and a discus lariat for a 2. Rhea then locked in the prism. Natalya was able to get out of it. Rhea went up to the top for a frog splash, but Natalya got the boots up. Rhea Ripley got into the post, and she then was given a running power slam by Natalya, shades of Jim the Anvil Neidhart. We then had the sharpshooter locked in. Rhea Ripley was bleeding from her mouth. Rhea just got to the ropes. Rhea with a big kick, a headbutt, and a riptide. And Rhea Ripley retains the Women's World Championship in a very good match, probably the best Natalya match that we've seen in years, and probably Rhea Ripley's best match of her women's title reign thus far. And she needed that. She needed that because Rhea Ripley has not had anything going for her ever since she won the championship from Charlotte Flair. But Rhea Ripley gets the win here, and Rhea Ripley beats Natalya. I was actually slightly shocked because, you see, with Vince McMahon in charge, I thought to myself, you know, I would not be surprised if Rhea Ripley actually loses the title to Natalya, because in the end, Vince McMahon never gave a shit about Rhea Ripley. Now, Vince doesn't give a shit about Natalya either, but I mean, Ripley was an NXT Black and Gold woman through and through. Afterwards, Ripley attacked, and then Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez came out to run Rhea Ripley off. So it looks like Liv and Raquel will be challengers for Miss Rhea Ripley going forward. Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle took on Giovanni Vinci. This went 3 minutes. Not even 3 minutes, 2 minutes. How exactly do you have Giovanni Vinci and Matt Riddle and you only give them 2 fucking minutes? Vinci got rolled up and Matt Riddle beat Giovanni Vinci. Afterwards, Kaiser and Vinci attacked. Drew McIntyre came out with a boot to Kaiser. Riddle took out Vinci, and Drew delivered the Claymore to Vinci while looking at Gunther, and Gunther walked off. Looks like we will be getting Drew McIntyre versus Gunther at SummerSlam, and if Drew McIntyre does not come out victorious, I would be shocked. Dominic Mysterio versus Seth Rollins. This match ended in a DQ. Why? Because Damian Priest came in and hit the South of Heaven on Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins then was sent into the steps, flatliner onto the table, and Priest actually tore apart the table. Rollins was able to escape before he was given a super kick by Dom, and then Dom hit Seth with the briefcase right in the ribs. Dom told Priest to cash in before Finn Balor came out of nowhere, and Finn Balor shoved Rollins into Priest. Priest went down, and Balor attacked Rollins while Priest recovered, and he was not too happy with Balor. Dom was trying to play peacekeeper, and then out of nowhere, Rollins recovered, hit a pedigree on Dom on the floor, and Rollins got out of dodge. So once again, outside of Shayna Baszler's promo, outside of Rhea Ripley and Natalya, and outside of the rising tension between the Judgment Day, Monday Night Raw was an absolute shit show. Outside of the Bloodline, WWE programming sucks donkey balls. That's how it goes. Don't know what to tell you. That's just how it goes. Moving on here, let's talk about AEW Dynamite. AEW actually had a pretty decent week. We actually had a rather fun show on Wednesday night, and the highlight of the show was MJF and Adam Cole and the stepbrothers-like vibe that we are getting between MJF and Adam Cole, which is fucking fantastic. I didn't even realize that it would have been this good. I had a feeling it was going to be the most entertaining shit throughout the summer for AEW, but I didn't think it was going to be this good. But that did not start off the show, actually. Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin in the Blind Eliminator Tournament. And when AEW does tournaments, it usually turns out to be great. And this was no different. We've actually been getting some great action in the Owen Hart Cup tournaments and the Blind Eliminator tournaments. We had Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. They drew the partnership in the Blind Eliminator tournament, and then Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin also drew the partnership. I wouldn't mind if Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy actually wins the whole damn thing. So Cassidy lightly chopped Darby. Or I don't know why I said Darby. Lee, excuse me. I'm mixing up my fucking names here. Cassidy lightly chopped Keith Lee. Keith Lee said, all right, fuck this, and just uncorked the double chop on Orange Cassidy. Fucking ruthless shit. Darby with a coffin splash, but Lee would not go down. We had a tag to Swerve Strickland. Swerve lit up Darby with a nice back elbow. Coming back from commercial, Swerve and Lee with an assisted superplex powerbomb. Darby was trapped underneath the steps. We had a suicide dive by Cassidy. Lee and Cassidy were the legal men. Lee caught a Stun Dog Millionaire, and then he actually got a second one, and Darby, with a beautiful code red, Keith Lee sold it great, tagged to Swerve, and Swerve went for a 450, but Darby moved out of the way, and Swerve accidentally 450 splashed his own partner. Swerve then with a backbreaker on Darby. Swerve hit Lee again with a kick. Diving DDT by Cassidy. DDT on Lee on the floor. Darby Allin with the Last Supper, and Darby Allin gets the win for himself and Orange Cassidy. I don't really know what it is about this tag team with Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy, but Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy, man. Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy, they have been working great together. It's so weird because they're two different characters, two different people, but I guess opposites do attract. Either way, this was a very good match, and Cassidy and Darby advanced, and I see them going all the way to the finals. I'm liking it. I'm very much liking it. We had a promo with Darby Allin actually hyping up Nick Wayne. Nick Wayne is coming to AEW next week, and it will be Nick Wayne versus Swerve Strickland on July 12th, as Nick Wayne has just turned 18. And apparently Nick Wayne is damn fucking good at what he does. And I'm actually very much looking forward to seeing how Nick Wayne handles himself against Swerve Strickland. Really much looking forward to it. Hook ambushed Jungle Boy in the parking lot. And we are getting a FTW championship match with Hook and Jungle Boy, which I believe will probably take place at Blood and Guts, which I have absolutely zero issue with. I have no issue with that whatsoever. And if anything, that's going to be one damn good fucking match. And let me tell you something. Jungle Boy winning the FTW championship and just shoving it in Hook and Taz's face, that's going to be some great fucking TV. That's going to be some really good fucking TV. MJF and Adam Cole, they were at the gym. They were doing reps. MJF was fucking shocked that Adam Cole could actually bench press because he thinks that Adam Cole is a weak, feeble little boy. And then they were making fun of some fat guy at the gym. And they go, hey, you know what he reminds me of? Tony Schiavone. And Adam Cole's got this face like, are we becoming friends over here? I don't know who the fuck is writing this shit, but this is absolutely fucking gold. This is gold. I knew it was going to be entertaining. Like I said, I didn't think it was going to be this entertaining. And wait till you see what happened later. What happened later was even fucking funnier. I'll tell you what wasn't funny. Whatever happened with the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass over here, they defeated the Blade and the Bollywood Boys. Pretty much a nothing match right here. Nothing too crazy. And the Acclaimed get the win. All of a sudden, Harley Cameron came up on the screen and she promised to showcase everyone her talent in a music video next week. Daddy Ass took the mic and he just said, suck it. And that is my exact reaction. That is my exact reaction to Harley Cameron. Harley Cameron is not good TV. Just stand there and look pretty, hun. Stand there and look pretty. She is not entertaining. And this program with Johnny TV and QT Marshall will go nowhere. We should get a decent match out of it. But ultimately, it will go nowhere. It won't go anywhere. Sorry to tell you, but it won't. Matt Hardy was in the back, and he was waiting for his partner for the Blind Eliminator Tournament match on Rampage 100, and it was Jeff Jarrett. So Hardy and Jeff Jarrett, they teamed up against Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. We will talk about that in a little bit when we get to the Rampage review. So I didn't really care about that. I really don't care about what's going on with Matt Hardy unless he's with Jeff. The Hardy Boys are what we are to invest our time in. Whatever Matt Hardy's doing with Ethan Page, listen, AEW's been doing great this summer, but it's meaningless. It's completely fucking meaningless. Nobody gives a shit about Matt Hardy and Ethan Page. No one gives a fuck about QTV or Johnny TV. And it sucks because we have a lot of great talent in there, and they've done nothing to make anyone care. Chris Jericho came out to address the crowd. Crowd actually gave Jericho a standing ovation since they were in Canada. Jericho said it's bittersweet for him here because over the last few months, I've had a lot of big losses to my name. Maybe it's time to reevaluate a few things. And this is the perfect place for me to get reinvigorated because I started training in Calgary with Stu Hart. And I had my first match in Panico, Alberta. And I remember the passion and fire, and it reminded me that wrestling is still everything to me, and it's time to become a better Chris Jericho, maybe even become the best version of Chris Jericho. All of a sudden, Don Callis comes out. Crowd's chanting, "Fuck you, Callis." He goes, "I called you from a hotel in Tokyo and asked, hey, you want to main event the Tokyo Dome with Kenny Omega? And we changed the course of wrestling history." Chris said, "Yeah, I helped you get into AEW too, and you're bigger than ever." Callis says, "When we get together, we make history. But Kenny Omega destroyed my family. I need a family built on trust. And I think I trust that me and Chris Jericho, when we come together, we are here to stay, and we are here to make big moments. So Callis is hyping up Chris Jericho, and when I think of trust, Chris Jericho comes to mind. I am here to formally ask you, will you join the Don Callis family? Chris said, you're asking me to join your faction? Chris Jericho doesn't join faction, he creates them. I got one word for you. My answer is maybe. He said maybe. So maybe Chris Jericho could very well be the fifth man for the Blackpool Combat Club in Blood and Guts, and it could result in a full-time partnership. Now that would be interesting. And what's even more interesting is Chris Jericho was talking to Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara saying, listen, you can't stay under my wing forever. You can't. So I'm not sure how they're going to go about this. I'm not sure what exactly is the plan here, but it's rather interesting. It's rather interesting that they're teasing a faction, a partnership between Chris Jericho and Don Callis. And if anything, we got MJF and Adam Cole doing their shit. If anything, Don Callis and Chris Jericho, that could even be more entertaining than what we're getting with MJF and Adam Cole. So I am very much looking forward to seeing how this plays out. So we got ourselves MJF and Adam Cole. MJF and Adam Cole versus Matt Menard and The Butcher. So obviously Matt Menard and The Butcher, really a nothing tag team and a perfect team for MJF and Adam Cole to beat. So MJF was going along with Adam Cole's shtick. He was doing the hand motions. He was doing a boom. And he even did, when Adam Cole did his Adam Cole Bay Bay thing, MJF did his pose. It's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. And so MJF, the whole match, he said, we got to hit this corner clothesline. We got to hit this corner clothesline. Yeah. So Maxwell Jacob Friedman, he did not get the corner clothesline. He didn't get the corner clothesline. Adam Cole won with the boom. MJF then took the mic, and this is where things started to get just unbelievably fucking hilarious right here. MJF said, you know what? I think that we should have hit that corner clothesline, but guess what? We still won. That's what's important. Let me ask you, are there any devil worshippers in the house tonight? So then he goes, isn't there a guy who's super over with a super cool name? So he's like, Adam Cole, do the thing. So he does the Adam Cole Bay Bay thing. And then MJF said, could we have another broche session over the weekend? The crowd was chanting, yes, yes, yes. Cole agreed. And then MJF goes, wait. I forgot one more thing. Happy birthday. And then he brought the streamers out. He brought the fucking cake. He put a fucking party hat on Adam Cole. I'm surprised Adam Cole was able to keep his composure. I'm legit shocked that Adam Cole made it through this whole segment without just breaking down laughing. It's unbelievable. And you could tell Adam Cole and MJF, they're out there having a great fucking time. And when they're having a great time, then the crowd has a good time. So MJF started singing Happy Birthday in a great fucking tune, might I add. He can sing. MJF then took Cole to the side. He's like, make a wish. Cole then faked out MJF, and MJF went face first into the cake. Cole then thanked MJF, and he goes, I'm looking forward to this. Thank you for doing this to me, my partner. And so MJF was like, all right, we're getting somewhere. Now, obviously, this is probably just going to end up with MJF turning on Adam Cole. Let's be real here. This is going to end with MJF turning on Adam Cole, and we're going to get a match at All In. But, man, there's a very, very, very small part of me that really, really wants this to drag out. I want this to drag out all the way into next year, and I really do. If they were to play this as how they played off the Sami Zayn bloodline storyline, man, wouldn't that be great? That would be awesome. But hey, we got some entertaining shit with MJF and Adam Cole. Really fun stuff. Britt Baker and Ruby Soho. This was the first round of the Women's Owen Hart Cup tournament, and we got a solid little match here. Really nothing over the top or crazy, but we got a solid little match here, and we got ourselves the right outcome. So we had a nice sling blade by Baker. Soho took advantage quickly. Coming back from commercial, Baker mounted a comeback. We had a nice running, swinging neck breaker. We had a fisherman neck breaker. Super kick by Baker. Tony tripped up Baker. Soho delivered a Saito suplex. We had another super kick by Baker, lockjaw, but Saraya caused a distraction. Britt Baker's head was sent right off of the Owen Hart Cup tournament title. No future connects, but Baker was able to kick out. Soho then locked in the crossface. Britt Baker rolled through into a lockjaw attempt, but Tony and Saraya pulled Soho out of the ring. Britt had to fight off both of them. Soho then crisscrossed the legs, and Tony Storm held Ruby Soho's hand behind the referee's back for extra leverage, and Soho advances in what was a fairly solid match and the right outcome. Soho advances, and if anything, Solo, I think that she could be my pick to win the whole damn thing. I think she could honestly be my pick to win the whole thing, and I would not mind that whatsoever. Main event. Main event was great. Wheeler Yuta and Kenny Omega. There was actually a point in time where I actually thought Wheeler Yuta was going to beat Kenny Omega in this match. Really good near falls right here. So, Wheeler Yuta was on the receiving end of a Kotaro Crusher. We had Wheeler Yuta with a nice shotgun drop kick. Big suicide dive connects. Yuta then targeted the shoulder of Omega. Coming back from commercial, Omega mounted a comeback with some chops, rolling elbow, and a fisherman buster. Omega then with a big superplex to Yuta from the top. That got a 2. German suplex by Yuta off the top. All of a sudden, we had a V-trigger by Omega right to Yuta's back. Right to Yuta's back with the V-trigger. Connects right in the back. Really good stuff right there. We had a second one, a roll-up by Yuta. That got a 2. Another V-trigger by Omega. Yuta tried for the seatbelt pin, but Omega kicked out. We had a V-trigger again. Yuta kicked out again. Don Callis then came out. Konosuke Takeshita came up out of nowhere while the referee was distracted. He delivered a blue thunder bomb to Kenny Omega, and Yuta came off with the splash. Omega kicked out. Omega was finally able to lock in the One-Winged Angel. One-Winged Angel connects, and Kenny Omega wins a great main event. Afterwards, it was an all-out melee. Claudio attacked. The Young Bucks attacked. All of a sudden, the show just goes off the air when Hangman Page was in the ring, and the Dark Order just pulls the chair right out of Page's arms, and it was just a very rushed ending. We didn't need that melee at all. We didn't need the melee at all. You could have gotten away just fine with what happened in the end with Omega just beating Yuta straight up. We did not need the melee. Matter of fact, it actually took away from what was a great match. It took away, and it left a lot of the people watching at home with a little bit of a sour taste in their mouths that they rushed that ending. Otherwise, it was a great match and a very fun show. They need to do better with the timing. And if you're this close when it comes to the ending of the show, don't even bother doing a big brawl to end the show. Just have the individual come out victorious and let that be the end of it. It was very stupid of them. Rampage. And then we're going to get on out of here. Rampage celebrated its 100th episode. I can't even believe it's been 100 episodes already. 100 episodes of Rampage. We got ourselves the rematch from last week on Dynamite. It was Hangman Page and the Young Bucks versus the Dark Order. And the Dark Order actually came out victorious here thanks to Konosuke Takeshita and Claudio Castagnoli. And I actually have no problem with that. Good for the Dark Order. Minus the fact that Evil Uno's a fucking retard, but then again. But this was a very good match. We had the Elite in early control. We had a nice moonsault to the floor by Page onto Alex Reynolds. Locomotion Northern Lights suplexes by Matt Jackson. We had a double suplex by Matt on Silver and Reynolds. Silver then took over and isolated Matt Jackson. Coming back from commercial, Matt with a crossbody onto Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. Not Stu Grayson, John Silver, excuse me. Stu Grayson's with the Righteous. So Evil Uno and John Silver were taken out with a crossbody by Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson then lit up Alex Reynolds. Page tagged in, hit a fallaway slam on Silver. Pescado on Reynolds and a flying clothesline to Reynolds. That got a 2 count. Super kicks to Silver and Reynolds. The Bucks then held Uno over the apron, and Page with a beautiful running shooting star off the apron to Evil Uno as he was draped over the apron. Nick Jackson with a moonsault onto Silver, a Canadian Destroyer on Reynolds, lariat by Page, diving elbow by Matt, and Reynolds still kicked out. We had a Meltzer driver by the Bucks, but Evil Uno saved it. We had a tag to Uno and a tag to Page, and they were going at it. Things started breaking down. Silver and Reynolds were taken out by the Bucks because of suicide dives. All of a sudden, Konosuke Takeshita and Claudio caused a distraction. Claudio delivered a vicious uppercut. A vicious uppercut to Hangman Page after Evil Uno low blowed him. And in the end, Evil Uno pins Adam Hangman Page in order to get the win. And the Dark Order, they get a huge victory over the Elite right here. I don't have an issue with it. And if anything, I would not mind if the Dark Order ends up becoming the team to beat the Embassy for the World 6-Man Tag Team titles down in Ring of Honor. But this was a very good match. And in the end, we got a shock victory by the Dark Order. So good for the Dark Order. I don't have an issue with it. And it was a nice way to kick off Rampage 100. Matt Hardy and Jeff Jarrett, they took on Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. This was pretty much a nothing match. Right outcome, but really a nothing match right here. Matt Hardy mounted a little bit of a comeback. Matt Hardy, he would not hit Sammy Guevara with the guitar, even though Jay Lethal begged him to, pretty much. Matt Hardy was then sent into Jay Lethal, and then Jay Lethal was sent into Jeff Jarrett. All of a sudden, we had a GTH, and Daniel Garcia was actually the one to get the pin. So that was the right outcome right there. We got Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia facing off against Cassidy and Darby Allin on Dynamite next week, which should be fun. Afterwards, Jeff Jarrett's posse attacked. Isaiah Cassidy came out to help. Satnam Singh destroyed him before Ethan Page came out to help Matt Hardy, and it seems as though Ethan Page has had a change of heart. Not really sure what's going to go down there, but I don't really give a shit about what's going on with Jay Lethal's posse or what's going on with Matt Hardy and Ethan Page. Just give me the Hardy Boys and call it a day. Listen, I think that there's a lot of great talent there. I think Jay Lethal's great. Jay Lethal's awesome. Matt Hardy's fantastic. And Ethan Page, he's underrated as all hell. Jeff Jarrett, he's hilarious when he wants to be. But in the end, I don't care. I really don't care. Hikaru Shida versus Marina Shafir. But in the end, with this match, I didn't mind it as much as I usually would. I'm going to throw it out there for you. Marina Shafir should not have been on the show. Marina Shafir fucking sucks. I mean, you're going to celebrate 100 episodes of Rampage. You're going to put fucking Marina Shafir on the show? However, I understand why they did it. They did this because in the end, Shida was going to get the win because Shida is being built up to challenge for a championship. Now, what championship? I don't know. They could do Tony. They could have Shida challenge Tony Storm, but we saw that back in October. And I think that the fans are looking for something a little bit different. But if Shida is getting wins here, I want you guys to pay attention to what happened right after Shida got her victory over Marina Shafir. Shida got her victory. And immediately afterwards, Chris Statlander was interviewed. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but Chris Statlander is the TBS champion. Now, if you guys remember, there was an episode of Dynamite back in the day. Like, when Dynamite first came about, when we were about 2 months into the AEW Dynamite era, right? 2 months into the AEW Dynamite era, and it was December 4th, 2019. It was Chris Statlander that fought Hikaru Shida in a match on the December 4th episode of AEW Dynamite, the embryonic stages of Dynamite. And Statlander had a star-making performance that night. She actually beat Hikaru Shida in a match 1, 2, 3 on that episode of Dynamite. I was shocked. I didn't know anything about her, but she sold me. Chris Statlander sold me on that match. I thought it was great what she did. It was awesome. If you want a match that has a lot of good history, and if you want a match that is rich in story that you could build upon, if you want a match to really build up Chris Statlander as a credible TBS champion, Shida would be a perfect opponent. The history, the story, and they work great together. They really do. And I don't think they've had another match one-on-one since that. I don't think they've had another match since in 4 years almost. They haven't had another match one-on-one since that meeting. 4 years. We haven't seen those two cross paths at all. That would be rather interesting for sure. I would love to see a rematch with Chris Statlander and Hikaru Shida for the TBS Championship. That's a perfect program that you could build going into All In and All Out. That's what I'm doing. And in the main event, we had the final first round matchup of the Blind Eliminator Tournament. It was Brian Cage and Big Bill versus Trent Beretta and Matt Sydal. And what I'm about to say, it may be a little shocking to a few people, but I'm going to throw this out there. This match was the best match of the first round of the Blind Eliminator Tournament thus far. This was the best round of it. Hands down. I don't know what it was, but these two teams worked fucking brilliant together. Now, Trent and Matt Sydal, I believe, are friends, but Big Bill and Brian Cage, I don't think they ever teamed up before. They worked like a well-oiled machine. It was great. It was awesome. This was a great match. Matter of fact, this match was actually better than the trios match that we saw to kick off the show. This was the best match on Rampage. This was awesome. So, Cage was obviously using his power against Sydal. Trent mixed it up with Big Bill. He got caught with a chokeslam on the apron. Coming back from commercial, he was isolated. All of a sudden, Trent with a tornado DDT on Brian Cage. Tagged to Sydal. We had a question mark kick on Brian Cage. Off the question mark kick, he took out Big Bill. Hurricane Rana by Sydal. Cage kicked out. We had a big running knee by Trent on Bill. Double lariat by Cage. A spear on Brian Cage by Trent on the floor. Big Meteora by Sydal off the barricade to Big Bill. That was a nice spot right there. Back in the ring, Big Bill with a boss man slam. Brian Cage with a brain buster. And we had a double cover and a double kick out. Trent delivered a half and half to Big Bill. Discus lariat on Trent by Cage. Sydal was powerbombed into the buckle. Trent then with a German suplex off the top to Brian Cage. Pile driver. Sydal with the Meteora, and Cage still kicked out. I actually thought that Trent and Sydal were moving on. We had a double lariat by Big Bill, choke slam on Beretta, and Big Bill and Brian Cage with a lariat powerbomb combo, absolutely folding Seidel in half, and Seidel falls to Big Bill and Brian Cage. Big Bill and Brian Cage will be the opponents of MJF and Adam Cole and Dynamite next week. Decent little show for Rampage 100. It was all about the opening match and the ending match. I understand why they gave Marina Shafir television time against Shida, and it looks like Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara, they're building some more tension there because Daniel Garcia tagged himself in when Sammy pretty much had the match won, so it should be a rather interesting Dynamite going on next week. Next week on Dynamite, we actually got a lot of big-time wrestling. A lot of shit to look forward to next week on Dynamite. And Collision tonight. We got a tag team title eliminator match. We got Athena and Willow and 2 semifinals in the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Lots of good shit. Lots of good shit going down. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we have in store going forth into Blood and Guts and the rest of the summer for AEW. I wish I could say that about WWE, but, you know. Ladies and gents, you guys are awesome as per usual. Thank you very much for tuning in to yet another banger edition of the Lightning Flash Update. I would like to thank each and every one of you, from Raphael to Sarah to Wrestling with Savage to Billy to Jalitza to everyone. You guys are awesome. To the Final Hoss and Dylan Ketchum and Hoolagrim. You guys were fantastic. Thank you all. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. The Trooper by Iron Maiden. The drum cover of The Trooper by Iron Maiden. JV Thunder's drum cover. That is going to be going up tomorrow at 2 p.m. And then we got the poll where you guys will choose what the next drum cover is going to be. It is going to be awesome. We're going to be rocking and rolling all summer long because the Summer of Storms is heating up. There ain't no summer like DJ Storm Summer because the DJ Storm Summer don't stop. Don't stop till I say it stops. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I am DJ Storms. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. But before we get out of here, I want everyone to answer this oh so important question right here. Who runs the IWC? Let me take a sip of my water, and then I will answer that question for you. I'll tell ya who runs the IWC. Who? But DJ motherfucking Storms. And don't you forget it.
'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.